Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree trailer finally dropped, and there are a number of fascinating things this trailer has revealed. And of course, like in true FromSoft fashion, everything in this trailer is quite cryptic. I mean, we all know by now, Miyazaki likes to keep the lore and the story quite close to his chest. Having said that, there is more to this trailer than meets the eye. Also, Miyazaki has just given an interview which gives us a lot of detail about this DLC. Not to mention, I have seen this trailer a dozen times. So, let's deep dive. As previously teased in the DLC announcement a year ago and confirmed by this trailer, Elden Ring's DLC will expand on the lore of Miquella, the most mysterious of Elden Ring's demigods. And the way you enter this DLC is by holding the hand of Miquella when she's inside the egg, where you find her after defeating Morg. Now if this is Miquella's dream, or does she teleport us to a different world, we don't know. But I believe the events of this DLC are set in the past, cause I have found a lot of evidence that suggests we Tarnished are traveling back in time. But I'll come to that a little later. So the first major thing that we know is the setting of this DLC is in a place which is completely disconnected from the lands between, so it is not an extension of it. This place is called Land of the Shadow, where Marika first set foot. Now, in a recent interview, Miyazaki has said this about the size of the map. This is our largest expansion to date in terms of overall volume. In terms of pure surface area, you could think of something even larger than Limgrave in the base game. Furthermore, this trailer shows fields of grass, areas filled with lava, and the poison swarms are back, which means there'll be a variety of biomes accessible in the shadow of the Erdtree. Now, while I was going through their website, something very specific caught my attention. FromSoft mentions new weapons, equipments, skills and magic that we'll find in the Land of the Shadow, which is quite normal. It is part of all other DLCs. But notice how they feel the need to mention in a different line. Take on these threats with the new powers that you can acquire. And then, when you see the trailer and see some moves with mechanics completely different from anything you have seen in the base game, such as these kung fu style kicks while wielding no sword, this doesn't seem like an Ash of War, but a new mechanic this game is introducing, and this could be a game changer. But even beyond this, you can see some things in the trailer, combat wise, which are even larger in scale than the original game. And if this trailer is anything to go by, this will be FromSoft's first DLC where they have actually tried to change up the combat, and it will be fascinating to see how your build stacks up with the new gameplay. I think the question on everybody's mind is, who the is this guy? This mysterious figure in the trailer in a humanoid face with a red snake that follows him around is called Mesmer the Impaler. Now I have two theories on this. One being, Morg wanted to impregnate Miquella, so maybe this is their child, and he even says a line in the trailer which could mean he's talking to Miquella.
Mother, wouldst thou truly lordship sanction?
And that Miquella is his mother. Or my second theory is, this is Rykard. Now if this is true, this changes everything, cause then it means you actually travel back in time rather than being in a dream sequence. Now the reasons I think this is Rykard is, there are snakes around him and look at those serpent eyes. And the other reason is this fight sequence where you get to see his weapon of choice. Doesn't this give you Blasphemous Blade vibes? But that's not the only boss we are fighting. In fact, far from it. This game has at least 10 bosses. We have this beast. Now I think this is Miquella's beast, cause of the 4 Empyreans, Rani and Queen Marika have their own beast in Blade and Clergyman. And since this DLC revolves around Miquella, this is his beast. And then we have this fight in the fields, and you know who this reminds me of? Dancer of the Boreal Valley of Dark Souls 3. Or this weird creature who looks like an abomination of a hippo and an alligator. Let's call it Hippogator, shall we? Or this one who looks like some form of a Godskin boss along the lines of Godskin Noble or Godskin Apostle. Then there are these NPCs, and this game surely has many new side quests, cause just in one trailer I could see 3. One being this guy, and man do I want that sword, even if I have to ruin his questline for it. Then you have this NPC with heavy armor, but this one is the most fascinating NPC of them all. sitting on a throne. Could this be a member of the Carrion royal family? Maybe the king? Or what if this is a younger Ranella? Now how crazy would that be? This trailer also showcases some new spells. During a fight sequence, the trailer shows the character which grows wings. This appears to be the power the Crucible Knights use. And the other spell where the caster can put the enemies to sleep, and the butterfly animations look sick. Also, this is one of Miquella's powers. So if we end up fighting Miquella in this DLC, you can expect to be at the receiving end of this spell. And remember the Hippo Gator we talked about? This spell that he uses, we can learn that too. Now, this for me is the most interesting part about this trailer. At the beginning of this video, I did speculate that this is not a dream sequence, but we travel back in time, which is not new for From Software. In Artorias of the Abyss, we travel back in time. And this castle that you see in the background, doesn't this remind you of Farum Azula? Could this be Farum Azula before it crumbled? Also, if the main boss Mesmer the Impaler is in fact Rykard before he turns into the serpent, I mean, his serpent eyes surely point to that, and it's quite normal for demigods to have different names. So if my suspicion is correct, then this beautiful scene with the tree in the background is in fact the Halig tree, which Miquella is trying to protect, and this DLC will reveal why this tree is dying. Then there are so many small details in this DLC that I'll quickly go through, such as if you zoom in on this shot, you get a better view of a new armor and it looks like wings. Next up, we have this portrait, quite reminiscent of the portraits of the Volcano Manor, and portraits in Elden Ring signifies noble blood, and he's the same guy here. Looks like we'll be fighting him in the volcano area. Then we have this rapid fire crossbow. I counted 10 shots. This will be a lot of fun to use on mini bosses. And just look at his armor. It is one of the coolest I have seen. In this shot, we have a look at another new armor set with some sort of a crest on its helm, looking at what looks like a great rune. This trailer also shows us a new Ash of War, which looks insane. And could this mean we can now pick up fire pots scattered across the map to damage enemies? And finally, this beast roar. I wonder if this gives damage buff of some kind. So many fine details in just 3 minutes of trailer, and I cannot wait to get my hands on this game. But we'll have to wait a while. This game releases in June, which is not such a bad thing. We have Dragon Dogma 2 and Rise of the Ronin coming up, and June is considered a dull time for gaming, so the spacing just couldn't have been better for us gamers. But this is just my thoughts on this trailer. Now I want to know your thoughts, so comment below and let me know. And in a few weeks I will deep dive even further, so if that sounds interesting to you, and for all things gaming, a like and a follow would be simply lovely.